So when I was young, my parent always used to say money is important, money is like something really precious because we didn't have a lot. So we always had a fight for having a little bit of money and we couldn't offer ourselves like nice things and all of that. So if I wanted like a gift or something, I had to think about it and be sure that's what I wanted and go for it, and then I would receive it for my birthday. And then for my birthday I would have this gift and I wouldn't have nothing else for a long time. So the kind of image that was giving me about money, it was money is hard to get. Money is a difficult thing. Money is scary and it's like the rarest thing that you can get if you don't have the right tools. And we always told me like if you want money, you need to whether work really hard for it or have already money to spend your money on a business and start it. So we told me like you have to magically have money in your pockets to start a business if you wanted more money. Okay, so the younger me goes into life, started to work like I was 14 years old. Yeah, I was like 14 years old when I started to work. I made a lot of money, and what did I do when I was at high school? I was like, oh, I'm gonna offer me like little things that I can get. And then I start spending money like everywhere and just buy things at the supermarket and whatever food that I could get because I was, you could say, addicted to food. So yeah, the young me spent all his money in bullshit and consummation because he was brainwashed by all this publicity and yeah, didn't have the right friend for him to spend his money in the right way. Yeah, good job from me. Then I get to the point I'm not going to high school anymore. I'm an adult. Adult. I'm a young adult. Then what I do as a young adult. Like, I know it seems stupid to do, but I know I'm not the only one who did it. I live paycheck to paycheck. So once I had my paycheck, I knew what I was about to buy. I bought the thing that I wanted, and then had this quick dopamine in my brain. When you buy something like on Amazon or you just go to a market and you buy something nice for you, but like it's not a super nice thing, but it's enough to give you like this pleasure to have it. And then most of the time you use it one time and you don't really use it anymore after it. So yeah, a bad thing to do, eh? I lived paycheck to paycheck, never had money in my pocket, like I was arriving to my next paycheck and didn't have nothing anymore, so my account was empty. Nothing, like, I had this investing account in my bank account, but it was always empty. It had like a couple of cents in it, and yeah, too bad for me, I guess. After a little bit more time, I started to smoke marijuana. Now my money was going down the dump. But that was the only way I could get dopamine. So I was smoking because I didn't have money. And because I didn't have money, the next time I was having money, I was buying weed to smoke that money. So yeah, a vicious circle. Then what's the problem there? I'm not being happy. I was getting depressed by it and never kept my money. I was working super hard. I was working like over 40 hours a week, and sometimes I didn't have my weekends. I couldn't like spend time with my friends, and when I was arriving home, I was eating and going to sleep. So yeah, I lived like that for at least four years, 4 solid years of suffering and not keeping my money and living paycheck to paycheck like a monkey. You know, like a stupid monkey, like a stupid average guy of the society. So what could you do to achieve something better? At some point in my life, I started to read things about self-improvement and budget control. What is budget control? Like controlling your budget. That means splitting when you're receiving your salary, when you're receiving your paycheck, you take that money and you split it. When you split it, you take some of that to put in a spending account. So in your economy, you take that money and you never touch it again, and you try to make babies with it. So what I did, I found this simple, really simple technique, and it's really working well. And when you use it, at some point at the beginning, you feel like it's not a lot. You see like the numbers, and you're like, it's small numbers. Then it's really easy to get discouraged, and just the hardest part is not to take this money and put it in something that you want to increase your dopamine. But we're not here for dopamine. We're here to increase your self-improvement, to increase your bank account, to increase your economy, to increase your quality of life. Nothing more than your quality of life. Nothing more than a better way to live. Nothing more than something that everybody would need. Nothing more than a way to keep that money to buy you really nice thing, to buy you what you really need when you need it, and to make yourself rich. Like, I'm not telling you that you're not rich, because if you have friends, you have yourself a girlfriend, and you have yourself a family, you're pretty rich. You just don't have the money. And then what you have after money, you have your fitness. You have your physical body that you need to add to this. And then you're super rich when you have all those things. But most people struggle with this one, and this one is money. So I'm gonna give you this technique. It's simple. When you receive your paycheck, you do what's called a 50-20-30. So 50% of this money is yours to put in your food, in your essential thing. So not in like a Patreon or, you know, OnlyFans or your fapping bullshit and whatever you're doing with your money usually, or your drug. Like, you're gonna stop all that. I don't care what you think. I don't care like if you're angry while listening at me because I'm telling you to stop all that and stop buying things. I don't care. I'll be straightforward with you. You take 50% of your salary to buy essentials. This is the money for your food of the week. This is the money of your food of 2 weeks if you received a 2 weeks payment. If it's month payment, it's food for your month. So if you don't want to for your food to rotten, you'll have to keep that money for your food during your month. So you gotta keep that money. 50%. Half of your paycheck is for your food, your soap, your whatever you have that is essential. So a place to live, water, electricity if you're living in the winter season because you need heat, and then you need food, sustenance. Then you have all your essentials. If you have all those essentials, that's 50% of your salary. Next, the 20%. This is for your spending. So you need to get your spending account and put that 20% in it. If you don't have a bank account and you're receiving your money cash, take it, put it in a box, and never open that box until you're putting more money in it. I want you to let that money in that box. You gotta keep it there, safe place where you won't touch it. Okay? So that 20%, it's not a big thing, 20%, but it's what you're gonna take. So when you receive that money, you need to put it in a safe place. That's what you're gonna keep. And then you have that 30%. That 30% is, you're gonna love me when I'm telling you this, your pleasure money. So you got 30% at home for your pleasure, for your dopamine. But I'm not telling you like put it all in Amazon or whatever. You need to take that money, like when I'm telling you pleasure, that means something that will give you real dopamine. So it could be self-improvement book, going to the gym, or doing a sport. Do things that are really pleasurable. Because if you just go buy thing on Amazon, or you just like going to spend it on video games or whatever things you're spending it on, it's like it's instant gratification, dopamine. Those things are the worst for your brain. So at the end you will just like feel the need to take in your spending money to put it in what you're doing wrong, those bad things, those brainwashing things. So spend your fun money at the gym, or if you're doing like a sport, spending it there. And if you have like an activities like you could do with your girlfriend, that's a great way to do it too, because you're spending time with the people you love. So I'm telling you, be careful where you spend your money. Otherwise, you just gotta keep this concept of 50, 20, 30. I'm gonna repeat it. Write it down somewhere. You write it down somewhere. 50, 20, 30. 50 for your essentials, 20 in your savings, and 30 for your pleasure, for your sanity, for your wellness. That's a good word. Your wellness. Otherwise, if you do that, if we do that, we will all grow and we will all be filled with abundance and money, because we all got those down moments when we will need money to survive. So if you didn't save any, how are you gonna survive? Anyway, I'm just telling you, I'm just caring about you at the end. So have a nice one. Bye bye.